Hi everyone, this is a beginner tutorial on how to model a hammer. And for this, we're actually going to be following Aryan SolidWorks Accelerator, his hammer tutorial for beginners. Now, I've seen this here, I've marked it as complete, but I haven't actually done this tutorial. So, yeah, thought we'd try something different, follow somebody else's tutorial here. I'll post this in the group. Hope you enjoy seeing how a certified expert goes along following one of these tutorials. Let's go. I'm going to try and follow as closely as I can the tutorial, but if I find errors or mistakes or just things that could be improved or simplified, I might make mention of them. Okay. Okay, so draw a sketch on the top plane. We'll start with a part. I am using millimeters as well. And we'll go top plane and tool sketch entities line. I'm going to draw this line shape. And then I'm going to add in these dimensions that you can see here. Now, it's quite small, but of course, everyone watching this video has access to this. There'll be a link in the description. I'm going to add the dimensions as I'm going. I'm not going to add the angles. In fact, I can't add all of those lines. I'll come back and add them. So what I like to do when I'm sketching a shape like this is I'll draw all the lines, taking care this line here, this very last one I'm doing. If I drop it here, it'll drop on an angle, which is fine. If I move my cursor up and you see that yellow horizontal relation, if I click there, it's going to add that relation. And then to actually get the sketch that Aaron's done here in the tutorial, I need to go back and delete that relation. So it makes sense not to draw it horizontal, actually drop it down a little bit and click. And then I can go add my dimensions. Now, adding dimensions or adding angles doesn't really matter. What you do first, I'm just going to click on all these lines, add these dimensions in. So these dimensions here, I'm clicking on the line and just dragging the cursor straight down. If I dragged at an angle or a different angle, I would be able to put a different dimension in. But I'm following the dimensions in the tutorial. And then for the angles, I'm clicking on the two lines and dropping, I think it's 5. Dropping all the dimensions in while I've got the dimension tool active. It's more efficient. Okay, now I've got a fully defined sketch. Okay, now we're going to do an offset. So I press escape on my keyboard. And we're doing offset just for those section there of 5 millimeters. So I put in 5, deselect select chain. So I'm just going to click on these ones. And I'm going to press reverse to get it on the right side. Press OK. That didn't add the dimension. I'll just do it again. Reverse, add dimensions. Okay, good. Adding a line here with an angle. I am skipping a lot of the reading, obviously, so I hope you don't mind that. You can read in your own time. Just going to see how quickly we can move through the whole tutorial and getting everything correct. So to turn that to construction, I just click here on the shortcut, construction geometry. Makes it construction. I want a 3-point arc. Okay. Three-point arc with a radius of 60. If that works there, you don't actually need the construction geometry. Okay, so you could just draw the arc. You could just draw the arc. You wouldn't be able to put this 210 dimension in there though without a construction line. So that's fair enough, but you could just dimension the endpoints of the lines and then the radius. That's all fine. Draw a little vertical line down 2. Okay, and another arc. Yep, that's fine. arc from here to here. Now you got to make sure when you draw that arc, you have it curving the right way. And give it a radius of 50. Yep, it's fine. We want to extend this line here. So when something's offset like this and it's fully defined, there's no actual, even though this endpoint isn't blue, you can extend it by clicking and dragging. And now it becomes blue. It's one of those little tricks in SolidWorks. It's not really that obvious, but it's there if you need it. Now, I'll draw that line here and then two more across the side. And then I'm going to add some dimensions for those. Now, there was a question the other day about mouse gestures in the chat. You can see what I'm doing here when I right-click and drag. These are my gestures for my sketch. The ones I particularly put on here is circle, center point rectangle, rectangle, line, and dimension. I actually forget about the other ones. Slot, convert, and enter, exit, sketch. I might have to remember those to use them a bit more. Just going to save this. Okay, that's saved. Okay, now we're doing an extrude, mid-plane, 25. Now I have my extrude hotkey to my E key on my keyboard. Quite handy. And I cut extrude to Shift E. You don't have to copy, but setting up your own hotkeys is a good idea. Now, 2D sketch on the top plane. Another sketch. One to two. So go normal to, go convert entities, select the three lines in blue, these ones. So I hold Control when I click on each of those. Drag the endpoints. Sorry, I wasn't supposed to convert all the entities, just these three. So select those three and then convert. There we go. Hotkey. And now drag the endpoints and then sketch. Now here's another way you can do it. Instead of dragging them, just sketch a shape. And then using a shortcut T for trim. That might be a custom one, but you can put that in. Just trim that away. You don't have to actually drag it. Put my dimensions in. Ooh. Sometimes I just did undo then. I just want to get the other dimension in first before I get this one. And so that the shape works out, doesn't go too crazy. That looks okay. And now we're going to draw another line on the inside. Okay, now I'm just zooming in. I think that's a horizontal line. I can't really tell from his sketches. In Aryan sketches in the tutorial, it's got sketch relations hidden. To hide and show that, you go View, Hide, Show, Sketch Relations. Okay, so it turns them off. I always like having them on, except if I'm in a sketch that has hundreds of relations and you need to turn them off. Having them on just means it's quicker for me to visualize and edit or delete. And 10. Okay, so it's important here that that dimension is horizontal. Okay, that's good. Now we're going to do another extrude mid-plane. And this one is using selected contours. Okay, so we're going to extrude, select the contour, which is this area, change the dimension to 17. And I believe an uncheck merge result. Okay, so that's going to create a separate solid body. So now in our solid bodies folder, we can see there's 2 solid bodies. Add some fillets. So 5mm radius. So you can click on the edges and then the shortcut bar is going to pop up here. I'm going to enter 5, enter. Repeat fillet, and this is going to be 2. Yeah. Now it was to isolate. So isolate, I have isolate set to I on my hotkey. So I select this body, press I, and then I can rotate around and see all these. We're going to put some more 5mm radiuses in. Again, I select these, holding control. I select fillet, press 5, enter. Repeat fillet, 2mm. Now, to reuse the last task that you entered, you just hit the enter key, and it will bring up, in this case, fillet. Okay. And I type in 2, change the dimension, that's done. And then chamfer. I'm going to do a 1.5mm chamfer at 45 degrees on those 2 edges. Again, we can select the edges and then hit chamfer. Change the dimension. It's okay. And then this is another fillet. Select the 2 edges. So he's got 1mm. It is 5mm here in the text, but 1mm in the box. And I would say, looking at these, that it's definitely like a 1mm size. Now, here's a trick with fillets. If I need to do those 2 edges, if I select that middle face, it's going to select both edges that it's touching. And so I don't need to select 2 edges. I can just select 1 face. Press enter. Okay, I can exit isolate now. Save. Cool. Now we're about halfway down the page. That's good. So some more fillets. Let's curl around here. So we want to do 30mm radius on these 2. I believe it's this one and this one. Okay, it's fine. Repeat the fillet. 5mm ones down here. Yeah. More on the inside. Okay, now look, these are some design suggestions. Okay. If I was designing a product like this, I would look at the wall thickness. So let's say the wall thickness there is 5mm. Now, whatever I had for my internal radius, my external radius should be the internal radius plus the thickness. So in this case, this example, the product would look better and actually be better manufacturable if it's like a plastic part or some sort of injection molding with a consistent radius or a consistent thickness here. So I'd put these up to 10. Okay, you can see then you get a consistent wall thickness through there. So I'm just going to tweak that and keep going. So I think we've done those 2. Now he's got some chamfers here. 3mm chamfers. 3. Yeah. Fillet on the top, which is going to be 2. Okay. Oh, it's the wrong side. Right side. It's a little bit hard to tell from the image. If I miss something, and I put it on the wrong side. Isolate. I'm going to isolate this body. I think I did the chamfers on the wrong edge. Okay, so to change that, I just click on a chamfer, I click Edit Feature. I'm going to right-click and go Clear Selections. And I'm going to select these edges on the outside face rather than the inside face. That creates an error with my fillet. But now I can select that fillet, edit that. Again, clear the messing references and select the correct references. There we go. Repeat fillet. Tap fillet. 5. So again, the example, instead of selecting 2 edges, select 1 face. That'll save us some time. More fillets. So if I rotate the body around, we've got some 5mm radiuses here. Okay, it's looking all right. And now a lot more fillets. Quite a few edges, or almost all the edges, which is fine. So it's going to be 1mm radius. I should only have to do a few selections, and it will go all the way around. So I can select 3 faces, and that's going to fill all the edges. Okay. Okay. Exit isolate. Show all the bodies. Yep. Right click on Boss Extrude 1 solid body. It's the main one. You see the names in the solid bodies folder actually change. The names in the bodies folder changes to whatever was the last feature that's been added to them. I think he wants the big one here. So this one. On the right plane, we're going to do a sketch. So we go to this view, and we'll do a center line from the origin. So from here to here, and make that 4 constructions. And then do a straight slot. Okay. There's no need to do that first line. We can do the straight slot from this midpoint. Click out, drag, done. Now that's the wrong slot tool, sorry. Let me use center point straight slot, like so. And then I can add my dimension to the origin, 12, and the radius of the slot, up 2. Okay, you don't need that first construction line. Make an extruded cut. So I'm going to go Shift E, got my cut here. I'm going to go through all. Okay. Nice. Fillet, you want a 0.5mm fillet. Click the face, click fillet, type it in, enter. Done. So I'm starting to see the hammer form now. You can sort of start to visualize it. It's looking good. More fillets, so just on the end, another 0.5. Now, because this one's 0.5, you can actually condense these fillets. You don't have to do it in 2 separate features. You can do it all in the 1 feature because it's the same dimension fillet. Okay, there's no need for a separate one there. And typically, like you can see all the features here and the fillets here in the tutorial, where you can, you want to try and minimize them. So if you've got the same fillet dimensions used in different places, if it's on the same body and it makes sense, do them at the same time. Okay, another sketch on the top plane. And we're going to convert some entities. So it wants to convert these edges here. I'll carefully select them and then convert. And we're going to click and drag and extend. Sketch a line between the ends. Making those parallel. So I'm selecting this one and this, clicking parallel. And give it dimension, 25. Now, there's a little bit of intersection here, so I'm not sure if that's ideal. This one's fine. So I might make it a little bit smaller so it doesn't intersect. In fact, what I can do is change that dimension or make it driven and just reduce this back to there so it's not intersecting. So the dimension would be around 20. We're going to do a mid-plane extrusion, 25 millimeters, uncheck merge result, press OK. We're going to isolate this body and put some fillets on. Okay, so fillets, 5 millimeter, and chamfer, 5 millimeter as well. Okay, so then click on this face, chamfer. 5 seems very big. I know that's what he's got. Seems like it's taking off a lot more material. I guess my body is smaller because I did reduce the size. So it will look a little bit different. All right, we're going to do an offset on this face. So offset 2, reverse. Now, I'm going to just change my chamfer size. It's a bit big for my liking. Just change it to 2. That's the thing with these tutorials, like dimensions, sometimes you just change them to suit, what you want. It's fine to be customized and learn how to do things a little bit differently. Okay, so we're going to add some fillets to that sketch. So I'm going to click Edit Sketch. 1 millimeter radius. And two millimeters on the other ones. But they've already got fillets because they're offset from this edge here. So I'm going to skip that step. I'm going to do an extrude cut, 1.5 millimeter. So change that to end condition blind, 1.5 millimeter down. Now, so we've done that, that's okay. Draw a sketch on the extruded cut plane of the isolated body. For this one, go to Moliere, right click on the sketch icon, offset entities. Okay, let's follow along. So we're doing a sketch here. I'm going to offset this edge 7.5. Now mine was smaller, remember? So I'm actually going to reduce that. So it's not as big. 5. And we're going to put some text here. Sweet. Okay. Cool. All right. So here's a trick with some text. I'm not going to offset. Let's say I want my text to be 5 millimeters high. Okay. I'm going to set up a line that goes right through the middle. I'm going to just find a midpoint I'm going to have another line that's going the opposite direction. In fact, they're going to be like perpendicular. I'm going to make sure the dimension between the center point and here is 2.5. And then I select this line and do my text. 250G. And I'm going to uncheck document font. For my own font, type in 5. Change the font type. Bold. All right, and it's too wide, so I need to make it smaller. So let's go to, what size are you using? 3.5 millimeter. Let's go 3.5 millimeter. And so 1.75. And for that text as well, we'll make sure it's centered. Press OK. And we want to extrude this. Yeah. Extrude at 0.75. Nice. Just going to merge with this body. All right, and then a fillet to finish this bit off. We're going to do these edges and these edges. But what's going on? Too big? Doesn't like the selection. Now, it's going to be to do with some of these other weird shapes that's happening. Let's select the edge, see if we get a better result. Yeah, see there's something happening here where we did those chamfer and large fillets before. It doesn't like that face going around there. With a few more selections, I can get it to go all the way around. It's okay. 2 millimeter radius, provider 8, 1. Cool. Exit. Chamfer tool on the inside, 5 millimeter, 45 degrees. Seems big. Won't work. Won't work. Yeah. Says 5 is actually 1.5. Okay. Makes more sense. I'm just going to change mine to 1. Okay. More fillets. Oop. More fillets. Cool. And mirror. Insert pattern mirror. What are we mirroring here? We're going to mirror the whole cut, extrude, boss extrude, chamfer, and fillet. Okay, this is the last step of the tutorial. Let's see if we can pull this off. So, right, front plane. We want to mirror. Do we want to mirror the text? Yeah, cut text. So I select all those. I select the front plane. I press mirror. I've selected the wrong plane. Great, let's change that to top plane. Now, this is the problem with mirror, and I think you can see it in this preview as well. The text is going to be backwards if it works. Some items are no longer in the model as well. So this is not, this bit here, this bit of a problem. So let's get rid of the text. Try. Get rid of the chamfer and the fillet. Try. Okay, so we get the cut. How would we do this? All right, let me add on a step to the tutorial that'll make it a bit easier. We're going to move the text to be the very last step. I'm going to use my rollback bar and roll up. I'm going to use the top plane to cut. I've removed half of it because I'm going to mirror that remaining half to merge them together. I'm going to roll down with my text, and then I'm going to go on this side, and I'm going to show this line, convert, hide. So I've got the line there. All I have to do now is remember what my text was, 250G. Remember what my font was, Gotham, 3.5, centered, and then I've got to flip it. It was also bold, not black. So bold, okay. And then I'm going to extrude whatever I extruded the last one, 0.75. Not mid-plane though, that's a mistake. Let me check, did I do the other one mid-plane? I think I did. Yeah, so let's just reduce that a little bit, 0.5 and 0.5. Okay, and there we go. The first step of the hammer tutorial. We did that in half an hour. Let's finish off this hammer so it looks like the original model. So I'm going to pause this here, or end this video here, this first section, and we'll come back in the next video and finish off part 2. All right, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.